Hello, Hack4Impact. My name is Philip. I was a product designer here at Hack4Impact about a year ago, and today I just kind of want to share about our design process and how we did things, and hopefully provide you guys with some inspirations to approaching the current problems that we're trying to solve here. And by the way, I recorded this video because I'm currently located in Taiwan, and it's 13 hours ahead of Central Time. So by the time you're watching this right now, it would be 7 a.m. for me, which is a little too early. But I still want to get involved, so I'm making this. So currently you're looking at a Medium article that we wrote that documented, our work process with this project. It provides a general guideline of how we kind of a step-by-step review of how we did things, and hopefully it helps. So what you're looking at here, this is the final product of what we did at that semester. So from nothing to having this working app, it took us about a semester, which I think we were really productive at that time. So So our design process kind of looked like this. So first of all, of course, we had to identify what the challenge, what the pain points are. So the problems. Actually, I'll just go through the Medium article to just kind of do a quick review. So the challenge was that so on campus, sometimes people are not able to safely navigate or commute around campus at times like evenings or nighttime, when it's dark outside, or when it's during winter summer break when there are less people on campus. Sometimes people or students are not able to safely commute on campus. So we identified that problem and we wanted to solve it. And my role on this project was a UI UX designer, and I worked with Annie to provide to kind of do this project. So Annie at that time worked more on the user research part, and I worked more on the UI design part. But I think we both learned a lot about both areas. So first, before we started everything, we identified the pain points. So the pain points are basically the problems that we're trying to solve here. And as I said, it's the problem of not being able to safely navigate around campus at night or during evening hours when it's dark outside. And we did a lot of research about how we can potentially solve this. And we discovered that there are actually a lot of information out there that can help a student to safely navigate around campus. It's just that all these data and all these information are spread out around the internet or the school website domain. Like for the police department, maybe they have some data showing where the crime has happened in the past. And for the from UFI, maybe they have data showing where has constructions going on, things like that. All these data can help a student make safer decisions about how to commute around campus. All these data are available around all these places, but there's no one centralized place to see these data. So we identified that, and we thought, okay, so what does the user need really? It turned out they really just need a central place to see all these information. And with these information, they can make safer choices. We listed out all the things we want the app to have. So for example, it should be a mobile app so that when, say for example, when I am walking around campus at night, I can just pull out my phone and open an easy, quick to access app to see the information, because we thought this would be something kind of urgent for users. And by that I mean when they use the app, it's usually when they're actually outside, and maybe it's cold outside, it's dark outside, they want to access the app quick. So that's one of the user needs we identified, and there are many others, and when you have time you can look through the Medium article to kind of understand the project a little more, but I'll talk about how we did things on a higher level. So yeah, user needs, we identified that, and then we went into the design process. So the process first was user research. So now we know the problem and we know we have a potential solution. We want to do a sanity check, kind of. We want to validate the potential solutions that we came up. We want to see if it's actually a workable a solution. So that's where user research came in. We did a lot of interviews and a lot of so yeah, we did a lot of interviews with potential users. Annie and I did a lot of user research. We met up with students that maybe may need the app more, say for example freshmen who don't know the campus too well. We met up with them and asked them a lot of questions about how they would potentially use the app. So that's where user research came in. And then we had a wireframe. I drew a wireframe of how I think the app can potentially look like, and I had all these notes around the wireframe, kind of identifying the functionalities of these different elements on the app. So we had this wireframe, and then with these we conducted more usability, not usability tests, but more interviews. We showed potential users the wireframe and asked them if this kind of makes sense on a high level. Does this app make sense? And would you kind of use the app? So that's where when we did the wireframe, that's what we did. And when I was designing the wireframe, I was able to, I guess, I had to keep a few things in mind. For example, this is a thumb usage heat map showing when user holds the phone on the right hand, what's the area that kind of that they can access more easily. And so for example, the green area you see here is where the thumb is, and that's where they can really easily access on the screen. So this area that you see here would be a very important area to focus on the app. So that's why so on this app we had a kind of a card that you can pull up, and that's why we purposely included the card, a part of the card, to be within the green area, so that they don't have to so that they can easily access the card, I guess. So yeah, that's an example of really thinking about the user and how they would use the app when doing design. So yeah, that's the wireframe stage. And then, as I said, we did more user interviews and usability tests. That's when we asked, once again, a lot of questions about how they would potentially use the app. For example, a question like this. You know, it's laid out and there's no one walking around you, and it's dark. How, like, what would you do to make yourself feel safe? So from a lot of the answers that we receive, we're able to make design decisions based on those answers. And with that, we came up with the first mockup, or the 0th mockup, because array starts at 0, right? So it's a very early stage design that we had. So from there, we kind of progressed to mockup 1, mockup 2, and there are descriptions saying why we made the design changes. And for details, you can look at the Medium article later. But basically, we went through a lot of stages of mockups to come to the final stage of this prototype. So I designed this in Sketch, an app called Sketch. In fact, I have the file right now. I can just show you the actual file. Yeah, I'll talk about the technical details of how we make this design, I guess, if I have time. Yeah, 10 minutes. Cool. So this is a design app called Sketch. And then here, I was able to make the wireframe into an actual prototype that you can interact with. And of course, the functionality isn't there. It's just a prototype, which means it's a, how do I describe this? A fake product, I guess, for testing, right? And you see all these orange arrows around. These are the interaction flow. So I am able to do a preview and actually interact with the mockup or the prototype that we have. Yeah. And so this is Sketch, and it's a pretty nice design app. And it's a design app of my choice. But of course, if you want to use Figma or Adobe XD, these are all great choices. They're basically the same thing. So, and I think Figma is actually more popular now, so maybe look into that. But yeah, we kind of designed every potential user interaction scenarios in Sketch. So what that means is that whatever the user can tap on, we made sure to include that in the design so that the developers have a better idea of how the app should look like exactly. So yeah, that's the prototype that we did. And that's basically the final solution that we had. And of course, development takes a lot more effort. So yeah, and then the outcome is that we received very positive feedback from the client, cut to the case. And yeah, I think the outcome is quite good, and we had a working app. So yeah, so I guess this is basically how we did the design on a high level. I hope it kind of provided you a good idea of how you can potentially do design. Basically, go through user research first, and then wireframe, and then a lot of iterations of mockups with user interviews and usability tests in between, and then the final prototype. And during these stages, it's very good to interact with the developer at the same time, because sometimes a feature may be really hard to develop. So that's when we designers can consider, I guess, designing it the other way so that it's easier for development. You know, there are balance that we have to find here. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but yeah, so this is the product that we did. And if you want to read more about this, I will send a link to Slack, I guess. But yeah, it's on Medium, or you can just look up the title. But yeah, yeah, well, good luck at Bootcamp, and I will see you guys sometimes in the near future. Good luck. Bye.